Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of MBA Reacts, and today we are reacting to life in consulting. I am Soumya Israni and I am leading the NUS MBA Consulting Club. I have worked with Accenture Strategy for 4 years and yeah, that's about me.
Hi, I'm Bhagya. I'm from the MBA 2025 batch, a part-timer. So I've been in consulting for 17 plus years, starting off with Oracle Consulting. Now I'm with local AU. So I think I'm the one with the longest consulting experience right now. Yes.
I'm Shantanu. I have around 5 years of experience working with ZS Associates, which primarily provide solutions to pharmaceutical companies. So I was working for a company based out of US, and my total years of experience is around 7 years. And I'm a full-time student here, 2025 intake.
Okay. So my first question to you guys is, what do you think consulting has taught you, and what are those qualities which came as a part of like working with in the field of consulting?
I think based on my experience, one thing that consulting brings is a structured mindset. That's what I feel, because a lot of the times when clients come to you, they aren't even sure about what the problem is. They just tell you that hey, something like this is happening, right? But that might not be the actual problem also. So we have to help them figure out the problem, frame it in a better way, right? And then structure it, come up with solutions regarding it. So just the approach that you take towards firstly framing a problem, identifying it, and then how to build a solution around it. So just that structured mindset and approach is something I feel consulting brings.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it's very important to help them understand how they frame it, like what's really the problem. Also, I think one of the things that consulting helped me to realize is, of course, it's not always about the solution. It's also about what value does the solution bring to you.
Correct.
Right? Because sometimes, majority of the time when clients approach us, they want to solve a problem that only impacts 1%, but they spend so much time making that their pain point.
Yeah.
But actually the ROI of that is very, very little. So they are concentrating, it's like the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
So helping them to understand what's the return on whatever problem they want to solve is also one of the key things that I've learned along the way.
And just to add on, I think a lot of the times the clients don't understand that okay, this particular solution might add this much of value, right? So I think this is a great point, because they feel that okay, this is a very small thing, but when we actually show them that hey, this is the ROI that will be generating out of solving this particular problem, then their eyes are wide open. So I think that's a good point.
I think one skill that I think consulting gave me was to be comfortable with ambiguity. I mean, in 4 years, I've worked across, I think, 5 projects, and I mean, each project had a different problem statement. But now, I think I'm not scared of unfamiliar situations, and yeah, so I think that is what consulting has given me.
Yeah. And that's what MBA also gives you, right? I mean, MBA is kind of an unfamiliar territory, so experience in consulting kind of helps us navigate through the MBA as well. So
I mean, the learning curves are steep. You have to learn on the go, and yeah, I think consulting is the best field to like get into that practice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and if we wouldn't have had that experience coming to a new country, and like Singapore, like we both are from India, so coming to a new country, handling everything on our own, again an ambiguous environment, as Soumya said. So it equipped us to handle the MBA, I think, in a good way.
Yeah. I think on that point, right? How do you guys like get into consulting?
Okay, so for me, I think consulting.
How did it start for you?
I didn't choose consulting. Consulting chose me in a way. I was like placed on the campus right after my undergraduation. Didn't know how the industry worked. I mean, I went through the process, got selected, and then thankful to my mentors and the managers and senior managers in Accenture, I think they helped me navigate through it. I think one thing which really helped me was to be open to learning. I mean, I was just open about any field, any function. So I think so it chose me, then I chose it, and then things happened. Yeah.
I think for me it was by accident.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, I'm from Delhi, and I was very clear that I want opportunities in the vicinity of Delhi.
Oh, okay.
So I was just kind of looking out for opportunities, and this somehow just fell into my bucket. So I just went into it, and thankfully it did, because it made me learn a lot about myself, about how to approach problems, about how to solve ambiguous situations.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me also it was a very random entry to consulting. I had no idea what consulting was. And actually, even today, if my father asked what I'm doing, he wouldn't understand. So, having said that, of course, like Soumya said, mine was also a grad program. I got a chance to work for consulting. And I realized it matches what I want in a career. So ended up staying there for 16, 17 years. Now I'm still kind of doing consulting more internally. So it kind of like that was the entry, and along the way picked up a lot of skills, made it more suited for me, my goals, and then that's how it went.
Was there any point where you felt like you don't want to stay in the field? And
multiple times.
I think Bhagya is like just today.
Maybe not right now, because right now things are going pretty well. But there had been times, because I'm sure you guys being in consulting knows that how things are. So when things go really wrong, it's very hard to, you have to figure out how do you cope with the situations. Like there could be difficult clients, difficult projects, unreasonable expectations to achieve.
And then traveling.
Oh yeah,
the Monday to Friday traveling.
And then so all that, there are times that you actually wonder, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? But then I think along the way, I think you also learn, don't react to those moments. Things calm down, then things look much.
I mean, what I've realized is nothing lasts, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
if
like
it's a
that.
hectic phase, that doesn't last. If it's a good phase, that doesn't really last. It's like life,
True.
Probably when you're going through those hectic phases, you kind of just put your head down, put your blinders on, and just push through.
Get it done.
And eventually, when you get that success, because when you get the taste of that success, you kind of feel validated, and you are able to push harder. So
That's true. And that achievement of completing a project. Like I've been in tech consulting, so all my career. So that go live date is like super important. Of course, the problems do follow thereafter, but
and I guess it pays well as well. So.
That is the one point that
that's a big motivation.
No, but I totally agree. I mean, there were days that I felt like, oh my god, what am I doing? But then the best part about it is that the client will change, the problem statement will change, everything will change. And the best thing about it is you never get bored. I mean, you are always challenged, you get to do different things. So I think that's really good.
What consulting does is it exposes you to so many different problems in such a short span of time. And one day you are say working on a tech firm, next day you are working for a food delivery app, then say you are working like Soumya for an FMCG client. I mean, you get to experience such a diversity in a short span of time, which probably I don't think any other industry gives you.
That's true.
I think that's one of the most important things. Like for me personally, I've been in higher education majority of my consulting life. But of course, I've done projects in banking, healthcare, telco, etc. But I think for someone who's looking from outside, might think day in, day out, you do the same thing. You go in, get to know the client, get to know the problem, then come up with ways and means of how you solve it for them, and then work out your development, deployments, etc. And then you wrap it up nicely and walk away. But even though it seems very repetitive, the people are going to be different, the problem statements are going to be different. Even among, like I've literally done projects in the 6 AUs in Singapore, and the problems have been different. So it's very interesting, like you would think in higher education, Uni A, Uni B should more or less face the same problems. No, it's different.
So how do you think the Singapore consulting market is different from say any other market?
Okay, so my exposure to, of course, majority ASEAN, because I was in that regional team. Within ASEAN, it's pretty similar. Similar in the sense like there's a problem statement. Like because you might have heard Singaporeans and a very pragmatic group of people,
Yeah.
right? If we have something to achieve, we work towards what needs to be done. Of course, having said that, so it's all about how fast do we turn around things, etc., etc. So now that versus when you go over to Malaysia or Indonesia, things tend to get a little bit more relaxed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the pace is slower. So that's there. Then of course when you go into the Western, like my exposure to Western is a bit limited, but I realize that people maybe a tad bit more laid back. Laid back not in the sense like in terms of driving things, but in terms of like sharing, more open, etc. So I feel like the relationship is slightly different.
Yeah, so like I've worked with US, Canada and Brazilian clients primarily. So I think that's a good point, because when we meet on Monday, it's more about, how was the weekend, what did you do, and those kind of things. And yeah, so I think that has been quite different.
True. Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious, like you guys come from India. So what made you guys want to do an MBA now? And like how did you think consulting, MBA, then thereafter, how is that transition going to happen for you guys? And why?
I think I would like to start by saying I was really enjoying my job in consulting, and I would want to continue there, something related to that. Which side of it, external or internal, I don't know. But I think the major reason for me doing MBA at this point was to get international exposure. So far I've worked only for Indian clients, and the functions and the industries that I worked for were like limited. So I think I wanted to broaden my experience and get more exposure. And I think that this MBA journey is helping me in doing that. So I'm trying different internships, I'm trying different roles, and trying to figure out what I want to do in long term.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I'll have to remember my essays I wrote for NUS.
You guys had to write essays?
Yeah, you did?
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry, that was like clearly deleted.
So I think for me it's similar to what Soumya is saying. I had been in India throughout my life, although I was working for clients internationally, but I mean the kind of work that I was doing was more with like Indian people, right? So I never really had that sort of international exposure. So that is number one. Second is network, right? My network is typically India based, but an MBA, especially at a prestigious school like NUS, it gives you the opportunity to build that network and connect with people from diverse nationalities, right? Which I think is extremely important. I mean, under a single umbrella, I get to speak with people from Korea, Japan, US, Europe, etc. So I think that is something that I was looking forward to. Post MBA, honestly, I wish to stay within consulting, because I really don't have an issue with consulting. I like it. You get to solve different problems, as we were talking about earlier, but primarily within international waters, right? And NUS kind of like Singapore being the headquarters of different firms, and it's kind of a gateway to especially Southeast Asian countries. So that is something that I'm looking forward to, probably work within consulting in Southeast Asia.
Bala, what about you? You have worked here, you are doing a part-time MBA. What's your plan?
Yeah, so I think my reasoning to do MBA is slightly different from you guys, obviously. After 17 or rather at that time it was like 16 years-ish in consulting, I think along the way there were certain times that I wanted to like go and do like higher studies, but I was very confused about what to do. So at this point was rather what more skills can I get, because I feel like after spending so many years in tech consulting, you've kind of seen a lot, you've experienced a lot, and then I was feeling a bit maybe, I don't want to use the word stagnant, that wasn't the reason, but like plateaued. I wanted some more, like maybe I'm not also thinking more creatively, because I feel like I've hit that ceiling that I can think of doing. So that was one of the reasons why. Why NUS? Obviously, so I'm sure you guys know I'm an alumnus of NUS. So I did my undergrad here. So for me, it was more or less like coming back to alma mater to do higher studies.
Homecoming.
Next reason is it's very close to home. I did not want to travel far,
Yeah.
especially after work, etc. So but to be honest, the program was very interesting. The subjects, the exposure. Then of course, like you guys mentioned, meet people from other industries and also from other countries from other industries, because I have worked in the region quite a bit, so I have met other people but who are in tech consulting. Now it's a matter of what other industries can I make use of, can I tap into. Post MBA, I think that's a very interesting take. Of course, not go very far away from consulting, but maybe not stick to only tech. I would like to kind of diverse a bit or pivot a bit into strategy consulting, kind of like carry whatever I can add into the next level. So that's kind of where my head is right now.
And I think anyways tech is incorporated even within
Sort of.
strategy consulting or impact consulting or any sort of consulting that we do, right?
That's
tech
true.
is a core part of it.
I don't think any industry is going to go away from tech.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we all started at the right place then.
What do you guys think are some of the big myths about consultants?
We don't just make decks. That's the biggest myth. Slides, yeah. We do much more than that.
That's true. But I think we also have to highlight why consultants easily pick slides or PPTs or whatever, because it helps to get that message across. It helps to engage, because a lot of our work revolves around relationship building, right?
Yeah, of course.
So the only way to make a room full of people listen to you is to put something up there, and then it can't be a Word document. Hence, I think that's why it's like easy.
And honestly, it's not just about the slide, it's about the effort and content that has gone into the slide, right? That requires a lot of thinking, a lot of time investment, you know, before you can put something out there, right? So.
And I think it's also about building that narrative. It's
course,
about that story. It's
Yeah.
not just about putting up slides, but what do you want to convey? I
Yeah.
mean, depending on the audience, depending on who you are interacting with. I think,
And these days, AI can easily create slides. It's about, you know, the story, as you mentioned, the entire narrative that you want to picture, because slides can easily be created by the click of a button. So I think, that is important.
Content, I think another myth I want to burst is we don't just give solutions and run away, right?
We implement them.
Yes, we are around to see
Correct.
it, you know. I think maybe some management consultants might disagree, but then, but the bigger picture is we are there, we try to understand problems, we come up with solutions, we stick around as long as we can to see it being in action.
I think I like to draw on my experience. So I was part of a tech consulting firm, ZS, and when we used to understand the problem of the client, we not only used to give them a solution, we used to implement that solution, and after implementation, we even moved to the enhancements and operations side of things as well. It was like a long-term 3-4 year thing rather than just being a 3-month project.
Exactly.
So,
Even I've been part of like projects which were like 9 months, 12 months long, where we built strategies, but then we also implemented them. And there was a lot of feedback coming in from the clients, and then working on it and then improving. So
correct. I feel like that all goes back to that relationship. So I mean, I worked with Syngtel over 5 years as a client across multiple projects. So I feel like this all goes back to that end-to-end service, as well as thereafter like enhancements and all that we keep providing.
Another myth.
Okay, I think that we only live fancy lifestyles. But, you know,
We should have the time to live fancy.
Traveling business class all the time, staying in 5-star hotels all the time. I mean, that is true to some extent, but
it comes
with own challenges. So I mean, there's a lot of, honestly, the number of consultants that I've spoken to, if we talk to people at the partner level especially, they do end up enjoying or like being a part of these facilities, but they aren't really enjoying them, right? Because there's so much work and so much that has to be done, right? So, I mean, yeah, we do get these facilities, but it comes with a cost.
And it's never easy to live out of a suitcase.
Yes, absolutely.
It's difficult.
Absolutely,
It looks fun from the outside, but when you are doing it like for so many months, for so many years, I think it gets difficult and it takes a toll on your health.
True. Agreed. No, I mean the whole persona of you get to travel, you get to do this, that. Trust me, in any of those locations, you don't have enough time to enjoy those locations.
Yeah.
Of course, the only good part is you get a lot of loyalty points, and then hotels, which you can use it if you have time. But it's not a fancy lifestyle by any means.
Yeah, I mean it requires dedication, hard work, a lot of effort needs to be put in, which of course we all enjoy. That's why we are doing it. But I mean, the myth is that that's not just the only thing that that we are fancy all the time.
True. That's I mean pros and cons of being consultant.
What else?
And
what are some of the exit opportunities do you think people have? Maybe let's say talking about our MBA cohort itself, right?
MBA opportunities post consulting?
Yeah, I mean you have come from consulting. What do you think are potential opportunities?
I think there are three broad categories in my view, right? Because as part of consulting, you get to understand different businesses, so you also understand their problems, right? And once you understand a problem in a business, and if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, that kind of kicks in, and a lot of the people go into entrepreneurship. So that is one thing that I have seen. Second is, again, because you have experienced how businesses run, you get into VCs and private equity and that space, because you know how businesses are run and how much money they can make and how you can invest in them. Lastly, I think it depends on the industry that you're working in, right? So like I come from I work with pharmaceutical companies primarily, so I've seen a lot of people go into those pharmaceutical companies, go within that industry as well, right, at higher positions. So I think this is what I think.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. So like adding on to that, right, I think a lot of people go into the C-level. So because you've been solving problems in the industry and in those processes and whatnot, it's naturally, okay, now you know what not to do, now you go and do kind of a thing. Yeah, so C-level is a common option. Then like he said, I think do your own thing. A lot of people I know form up consulting companies, so they can provide, so they don't want to consult anymore, they form companies where they can nurture the younger talent and then make a life out of that as well. So actually in Singapore you get a lot of consulting companies that were born out of such experiences.
And all the top consulting firms honestly are ex-consultants. So
dozens consultants who got together.
I think in my opinion there are other potential opportunities as well. One would be corporate strategy, because you have worked in that consulting area, strategy, you have done strategy work, so you get an opportunity to work there. If you have built expertise in a particular function, then you can also explore jobs in the industry like Shantanu said. And I think a lot of people also go to startups and they work for startups because they are used to those ambiguity and those situations. They manage those jobs well, I think. So.
And one thing I can say for sure is consulting experience is valued a lot. Even if I look at LinkedIn and if I see any job description, there are few top companies who explicitly mention prefer someone from a consulting background, right? Because they know that they know how to solve problems, because that is what every company is looking for. So probably the exit opportunities are quite good in my view.
And if you're coming from a global company which is doing consulting, I think that is valued a lot here.
Correct.
Makes sense. Like, what do you guys think about AI within consulting? Like,
you mean in terms of will AI replace consultants?
What do you guys think about it?
I don't think so, because that knowledge, experience, because AI is an LLM, it learns as it goes, but then you can't match it with someone's experience. So I'm speaking in I don't know what's going to happen in the next 100 years or so, but not in the recent times, because I think you bring a lot of value in terms of it's not only problem solving, it's also that relationship you build with that client you're working with. And I don't think AI can replace that, right? And a lot of things, like even the worst of the worst project, can be managed if you manage your client and build that rapport and they have that confidence in you. So it goes a long way.
I think I absolutely agree with that. I always say that, like, as a consultant, it's very important to read the room. Like, that is a skill which every consultant needs to have, right? And AI cannot read the room because at times you go into a client meeting and you kind of have to switch the way the narrative is there just by, reading the room. So I don't think like AI will completely replace humans. Like, humans will be replaced by other humans who know how to use AI, right? Because it helps increase efficiency. But I don't think it will completely replace.
Having said that, I think a lot of things will be made easier due to AI. I think, let's say, working on analysis or like making slides for that matter. I think even research that will become easy. But like you both said, I think humans can't be replaced. Their insights and their intelligence can't be replaced.
Yeah, and also adding on, I think AI will have a big part to play in terms of what you propose, like how are you going to solve that particular problem, right? I think that's where AI is going to be important. Not exactly what the consultant does, but rather that end product that you're going to propose.
Yeah, absolutely. It just helps you become more efficient. If something that, if say a market research work requires 1 week of time, you can do it in say 1 day, right? But I think that's about it. So at the end of the day, we have to go to the client's office. We have to present. We have to build that relationship and those kind of things.
That's true.
Maybe one final piece of advice for people who want to break into consulting?
I think you should start. You are the expert here.
No, by no means. But I think you have to have a very realistic idea about why you want to do it and what you're going to encounter. If you're just getting into consulting because of the money, I think that's a very wrong reason to get into it. But do know that with or without consulting background or experience, if you're a newcomer or experienced, I think there's a lot of time you need to spend getting to know. Like, let's say it's a new product, new industry, new whatever, a lot of groundwork goes in. So it's many long hours, and then just have that. Of course, there's travel opportunities, etc., benefits, but it's not a easy ride. It's a hard ride, but the outcome or the achievement or what you come out of it at the other end is very, I don't know, it's much more rewardable, if that's a word,
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Any person entering consulting should be absolutely clear on why they are getting into consulting, because it's not an easy ride. For me, one of the biggest skill sets required probably would be the ability to handle pressure. Because when you are in front of the client and the client asks you a question and you don't have the answer to it, there's a lot of pressure that kind of comes on you. And you need to be able to navigate through that. The good thing is, once you're able to do that, the joy that you get and the confidence that you get, in my view, is unparalleled. So I think that would be my 2 cents.
I think one piece of advice from me would be, if you have like entered consulting, never stop learning.
Of course.
Like, be open to learning, or learn from your juniors, learn from your seniors, and be hands-on and try to do as many things as possible.
And probably try and get an MBA on your resume.
As soon as possible.
Preferably from a global school.
I think one more thing I want to add is also the art of saying no.
Yes. I agree.
So you have to be very creative with the way you say no. I don't mean just say no and make it be all and end all kind of a thing. I think you need to get very creative, especially in the Asian context of saying no, whether it's to your own bosses, whether it's to your clients, etc. Like, I've gotten very creative with saying no. So I think that's a skill set you really need to have. And just adding on to Shantanu's point, I think you need to learn how to handle pressure and figure out a way to work it off. Run, sing, whatever, movies, reading. You need that balance.
Just adding on to it, I think also prioritization. Let's say you have 20 tasks in a day. You need to know how to prioritize which are the high priority tasks. Align it with your management, align it with your teammates. But you need to be very clear so that you are able to get things done.
And get the priority aligned from the client also.
That's necessary. Client is the boss.
Wow, that's a lot of sharing.
So that's it from us, guys. Hope you like the discussion. And please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube as well as LinkedIn channel for seeing more such content. And there are some exciting things coming up at the Sandbox Club, so stay tuned.